All right, we're going to crack open a bit of a time capsule from 1902 and go straight to the source, Andrew Taylor Still, the founder of osteopathy. We're going to unpack the revolutionary philosophy that really started it all, in his own words. I mean, what radical ideas did this guy champion that still echo today? Let's dive in and find out.
And this quote, wow, it really sets the stage for everything. You have to picture it. The turn of the 20th century, a time of some pretty wild medical practices. And here's Still declaring himself a lone explorer. He's basically throwing out the old maps of medicine, saying his only guide is going to be pure logic and what he can see and feel with his own two hands. He wasn't just suggesting a new trail, he was charting a whole new world. So, what exactly was he rebelling against? Well, let's take a closer look at the medical world Still saw as broken, and his pretty radical demand for something better.
This slide just lays out the battle lines perfectly. On one side, you have the medicine of his day, which Still totally dismissed as these drunken systems of guesswork, just chasing symptoms around with what he called poisons, drugs. His vision, a complete 180. Don't treat the symptom, find the cause. Don't guess, be governed by the known truths of anatomy. And for goodness sake, don't poison the body, simply adjust it mechanically and let it heal itself. This wasn't just a small change, this was a full-blown revolution.
And that brings us to the absolute core, the most revolutionary principle of his entire philosophy. For Still, the human body wasn't this fragile thing just waiting to get sick. No, he saw it as a perfect machine, flawlessly designed by nature itself. And his own definition of osteopathy just nails this point. Notice, for him, osteopathy isn't about treatments or techniques, it's about knowledge, specifically a deep, deep knowledge of anatomy. He was famous for saying an osteopath's first and last lesson is anatomy. And why? Well, because if the body is a perfect machine, you absolutely must know the blueprint inside and out. This quote really drives that idea home, doesn't it? If the body is perfect, then disease isn't a failure of the design, it's a disruption of that design. The problem isn't some flaw inside the body, it's an external obstruction, a mechanical issue that just needs to be fixed. So how big of a mechanical issue are we talking about here? This is just incredible. Still believed that a deviation of just 1/100th of an inch could kick off the whole cascade of disease. Just think about that for a second. A shift so small you could barely see it might press on a nerve or block a tiny blood vessel, and that could disrupt the entire system. In his world, precision was absolutely everything. Right, so if the body is a perfect machine, what does that make the healer? Well, certainly not a chemist mixing potions. No, it makes them a master mechanic, an engineer of the human body. And the tools of this engineer, well, you wouldn't find them in a typical doctor's bag. They were qualities of the mind and the hands, intelligence, to truly understand the blueprint, a mechanical eye, to see how all the parts connect and work together, an almost encyclopedic knowledge of anatomy, and of course, the actual mechanical skill to make those precise adjustments and bring the body back to its normal state.
Still actually laid out the whole process using this exact metaphor. So, step 1, a person comes into your repair shop. You inspect the engine, the body. Step 2, you use your knowledge to find any variations from that perfect blueprint. Step 3, you use your mechanical skill to adjust the structure. And then, and this is so important, step 4, you step back. That's it. The mechanic's job is done. Nature, the true engineer, takes over from there and finishes the healing.
Okay, so now we get to what was probably Still's most, let's say, fiery and confrontational stance. See, it wasn't enough for him to just propose a new system. He felt he had to declare all-out war on the old one. And that meant a complete, total rejection of drug-based medicine. And I mean, he rejected the whole shebang. Drug medication, the whole idea of just treating symptoms, what he called the medical trust. Now, it's really important to remember the context of his time here. When he talked about antitoxin and vaccine rot, he was reacting to the very early, often crude methods of the 19th century, which he saw as just putting impurities into the body. But at the very core of it all, his argument was a complete rejection of the idea that nature's perfect machine needed help from any kind of drug. And this quote, man, it just crackles with his conviction. To Still, giving someone drugs wasn't just ineffective, it was arrogant. It was basically a statement that you, the doctor, knew better than the architect of the human body. He saw it as a fundamental disrespect for the perfection of nature's design, and he thought it was both foolish and incredibly dangerous. So, when you pull all of this together, What was the end game for Still? What was his ultimate goal? It wasn't just to add another technique to the medical toolbox. No, it was to start a complete revolution in how we even think about health, the body, and disease itself.
You see, his vision was for a completely new era of medicine, one where healers were true masters of the human machine. They wouldn't be guessing at symptoms. They would know anatomy so incredibly well that they could find the precise mechanical cause of a disease and simply remove it. And in that future, the entire practice of just giving drugs would become exactly what he thought it deserved to be: obsolete.
And that leaves us with this huge, profound question at the very heart of Still's work. It's a question that really challenges the definition of medicine itself. If the body is a perfect, self-regulating, self-healing machine, then what is the true role of a healer? Is it to attack disease from the outside? Or is it simply to remove the barriers that are stopping the body from doing what it was perfectly designed to do all along?